when it comes to affirmation is that we haven't been affirmed enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like this conversation came up in a panel. It's just that us as Black men, like we grow up and people are just like assuming you should just be doing everything you're doing regardless.
Yeah,
You're a
for
provider, so provide and provide
Mhm.
quietly and shut up and do it,
Mhm.
right? So I'm not gonna affirm you for doing the things that I'm
That
expecting
you're
you to
supposed
do
to do.
anyway, right? You know what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
And that's our lived experience,
Yeah.
right? So like asking people, what am I doing good at
Right.
is a really good way of like manufacturing that affirmation that we
Right.
all need. It's not something that is just for a certain demographic of people, right? Like Black men need affirmation. I
Mhm.
see it on the platform all the time. That's why we
Yeah.
throw up so many affirmations
Yeah.
throughout the week, because we see that when we put the affirmations up, people can go in there and it resonates with them. We're
Yeah.
telling a Black man like, yo, it's okay to not be okay, right?
Mhm.
Or it's okay to be in this stage of your healing journey and not be further along, or don't compare yourself. Like
Exactly.
those things are really positive and reaffirming for a lot of Black men that haven't heard those things as much or have heard the complete opposite. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, one
And
of the
that's why I
things.
talk
Yeah, go
about
ahead.
asking somebody who's close to you that you already know that like cares for you, loves for you. I'm not telling you to, like ask a random person, but ask somebody who is going to give you a genuine answer, who cares about you enough to want you to win.
Right.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Like I think that's so important, is like creating a support network around you.
Yes, community.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us as Black men struggle with that. Like
Mhm.
we've done episodes where I've had my friends on the podcast and then I'll see
Mhm.
comments like, bro, I need friends like yours. And I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
so how do we as Black men create community that we can
Mhm.
actually feel comfortable relying on? Because that was obviously a theme of the conversation earlier. Is sometimes we don't feel comfortable talking to certain folks. So how do we create community where we feel comfortable
Mhm.
relying on those folks and then having those deep conversations? Because a lot of us don't have real
Yeah.
vulnerable conversations with our friends.
Facts. I really believe that we got to start showing up as the people that we want.
I like that.
So
Yeah.
a lot of Black men talk about like, oh, well, I don't know where I'm supposed to go, or, these people don't invite me here, or,
Mhm.
we talk about stuff, but we don't really talk about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, how about you show up as the person that the space needs?
Right.
Why don't you throw a deep question out there or see what's going on, or you send an invitation?
Yeah.
Like, bro, let's go all get, meet up real quick.
Yeah.
I need some community.
Yeah.
Because if we don't ask for what we want and need, so how are we going to get there? Like, it's our responsibility to ask for what we need. It can't be anybody else's.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. And I like the fact that you said we got to show up as what we're looking for, because I was thinking about like, okay, so how did I get friends that actually are comfortable having these conversations? And I realized the reason why we got to that place is because like they were cool with like the podcast. We weren't necessarily like super vulnerable off rape. It's not like we all were like, like let's do a self check-in. I'm like, no, nobody was doing.
Talk about our childhood.
Yeah, right. Like nobody was. Let's talk about your father wound. Nobody's talking about that, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
over time, what ended up happening is because I was doing that on the platform, we would end up having those conversations naturally, right? And then eventually it became, yo, we gotta check in with each other, bro. I care about you. I wanna make sure you good, bro. I ain't like the fact that last time you went through something, we didn't even know about it, bro. So let's implement check-ins.
Yep.
Right now, next time you go through something, bro, hit us up because we your bros. We wanna make sure you good.
I love that.
Right? And then we can be more vulnerable because now we know like, okay, we have a track record and a history of I've checked in with this person, and then when I actually went through something, they followed up with me and made sure I was good. That's another part of it. Is like you can't just create the space and then not use the space properly and then not actually show up for people. You create the space, but then you also show up for people when they're actually using the space, right? So like if I'm asking someone like, yo, how are you? And they're telling me, bro, I'm going through a bunch of shit right now.
Right.
I'm not gonna be like, all right, bro, cool. And then be out. Like, nah, you gotta pull up and actually follow up with that person. I feel like sometimes it's like, we miss that piece of it. It's like, okay, this person is showing that they need support.
Yeah.
but we don't know how to give support,
Yeah.
or we're giving like the wrong advice.
And sometimes there's so many downloads I'm having at one time.
Nah,
I'm
please.
hoping I remember it.
Yeah, please, go
Like,
ahead, yeah.
Just to piggyback off of what you said, that people may not know how to support you.
Mhm.
You don't have to be 100%. Your life is great to support somebody else.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
You could be going through something and your friend could be going through something and you guys could just go through it together.
I like
Okay?
that.
So let's just start off
Thank you
with,
for saying that.
you don't have to have it all together just, to support your homie or to support your friend.
Right.
9 times out of 10, if I share with you what I'm going through and then you share with me what you're going through, there could possibly be some similarities.
Right.
And
right.
we can vent about it, talk
Right.
shit about it together,
Right.
like say F these people together,
Right.
but regardless, you're not by yourself.
At the very least, what it does is it allows you to get it out, which is progress
Bare
in
minimum.
itself. Yeah.
Right.